Welcome to the ERN Podcast. On today's episode of the weekly GWES Administrative Message, I have a couple things to say. Well, I have more of a question to ask, actually. Y'all ever try necromancy? Well, after figuring out how to revive my sister's hamster step-cousin's roommate, I realized I could use this to my advantage. So I revived Marley. Now, whether or not that was worth it is still to be determined. So, Marley, is there anything you would like to say to the audience tonight?
Hello, I'm Marley, and welcome to Status Quo. I have an announcement on behalf of Quo. After talking with WNYC for a while, I've realized that I was the one at fault. I, KWO35, am sorry for party rocking.
And this is the ERN Podcast. So
Welcome
today,
to the podcast.
Yeah, welcome back, Marley. It's been how many episodes do you think? Like 6 or 7?
Something like that. It's been ridiculous.
Oh, yes. But today, so we're going to continue on the EAS history segment. The whole episode's going to be this segment because we got a lot to talk about. So this week, we're talking about the beginning of Analog ENDECS. So for that, we'll bring in Gabe.
What's up, fuckers? Anyways, so welcome to the Analog ENDECS segment. This is going to be a while because we have a lot of talk. We have a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
We got the Burke. We got the Hollian. We got the TFT. We got the Sage. We got the Easies. And we got the GRs. And we got the... So...
But yeah,
And we got the Tactical Twisters.
We got a ton of ENDECS to talk about.
We have Hollian.
I already mentioned that.
So yeah, we got a lot of ENDECS to talk about, and we got a lot of people to talk about them with. We got me, of course, Don, Evan returning again, Anna, Gabe, and Marley. So,
This episode is always sponsored by WACN Technologies, bitch.
And sponsored by WXstream.org.
And also sponsored by
Beer Communications.
Radio will never, ever support
Sponsored by your mom's
podcasts.
weather radio obsession.
Hey, I already support.
You want a WR120? Hell yeah, I do.
I'll support ERN with software ENDEC, and I already do. So, and you can't say I don't because you run one.
Before we continue this episode of the ERN Podcast is sponsored by the Midland Loophole.
Okay, too far. Okay, that's a bit too far. Too far.
Anyways, so let's start off, Gabe. What do you want to talk about first here?
Let us start with the first known, the firstborn, the oldest, the not very wisest,
So
and
you?
the dumbest. Well,
Again,
allow me
you.
to introduce you to the Burke.
Whoa.
Yeah,
EAS.
I can agree with that one.
The Burke EAS.
Burke ES32.
The EAS 32. It's got a kill switch in the inside of it, you know.
Yeah, and I
Really?
flipped it.
Anna,
Yeah, don't
how would you
flip
like?
it.
How would you like to
So-
describe your experience with the Burke?
So the Burke sucked as an encoder even whenever it did work. It even though it has all hardware there for all 6 monitors, only 4 worked, and the one monitor that you needed for audio input for like recording in a pre-recorded weekly was monitor 6. That one didn't work. No explanation as to why. And we didn't have any manuals and stuff. I contacted Burke about it because Burke as a company still exists. They still sell STL equipment, I believe.
Yeah, they sell a lot of broadcast equipment still,
but-
especially like my last station. We
Yeah.
had a few Burke boxes still.
And they're still widely used too. But I reached out to Burke saying, hey, do you have anything on this? And they're like, nope, here's the manual, fuck off. So that's all we have. We have broken units and a manual. That's it. And there's a kill switch on the inside that if you flip that switch accidentally, the unit breaks. So have fun.
Is that what happened to yours?
Yup. And it was accidental because those dip switches on the inside were like super easy to flip. Like you brush on them hard enough and they'll flip.
So what do you think happens to it whenever you flick that kill switch? Like what?
Oh, it tells you exactly what it does on the front. It literally overwrites the entirety of program memory. It's just gone. That's where all your passwords are stored.
Wow.
So it wipes the program memory, and here's the thing. Normally, you'd think if it wipes it, it will just reset your password to like 000 because it wipes everything with zeros. But no, because 0 is a special character in there, not all bits as 0. So as soon as it wipes that, your passwords are set to nothing, which it still knows that there should be a password on those menus because there isn't an option to disable it, but the password doesn't exist.
So once again, poor software design.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. They still have, I'm pretty sure that they still somewhere have the software to rewrite the firmware onto that thing and fix this issue, but God knows where it is. And now I'm not willing to get my Burke working anyway because its power supply has gone bad. So
Is there really a reason to get your Burke working? I don't think so.
I've at this point I've accepted that Burke is shot, and I'm going to be pulling all the stuff out of it and just putting in new hardware, like a freaking
The easy
Raspberry
Burke.
Pi or something. Yeah, that's exactly my plan.
With IP functionality, hopefully.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now with cap support.
Yeah, with cap support.
Anyways,
wait. That's gonna be awesome.
I think that's a little bit. I think that's enough on the Burke, and now it's time to talk about another encoder that is creepy, very creepy, and because this one will talk to you. Like, it has its own speech synthesis chip in it. We're talking about the Holyam SAN HU961.
Isn't this also one of the ones that was kind of in the line of succession to the DAS?
Yes, actually, it is the precursor. Or second precursor.
Because Holyam was before Monroe.
Progenitor, there you go.
Right?
Your choice is
Holyam was
Encode.
Holyam then became Monroe and then became Digital.
Didn't Zay own one of those?
We don't talk about that.
Yes, he did. So did fucking Jaden.
Jaden owns
Yeah.
both
Still does.
the 961 and the MIP.
Actually, he sold it to Jaden, if I remember correctly.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen or talked to Zay in so long because he's an asshole. So
Yes. This is facts.
Anyways,
Yeah, anyways,
the
was there anything
Holyam
like...
is different, and the one thing I've heard about the SAM, at least, I'm not sure if that's true for the MIP. The one thing I've heard about the SAM, if you are stuck in a tornado-prone area, let's just God hope that your radio stations do not have a SAM, because you will not be able to understand anything that Paul is saying. Because the audio rate, what is it, like 4,000 kilohertz, or it's like 4 kilohertz or 6 kilohertz or something like that?
It's 5.
5. Yeah, you better believe you're not going to understand a single thing that thing is saying.
And also the
It's
intention
bad.
tone sounds like absolute fucking garbage.
Oh yeah, if you think the GR's
So does
attention
the
tone
Burke.
sounds bad, yeah, no.
You think the GR sounds bad? No. The GR pays its respects to the Holyam.
Yeah.
And speaking of Holyam, that's not the only encoder they actually made under the Holyam name. The second one that they made was the MIP, which is the SAM, but thicker.
Internal
Less
radios, I
TTS.
believe, right?
It's got internal radios.
arguably
CGen4,
better.
but not by much.
Not by much, no, but not by a long shot.
No.
Hey, it sampled in 8 kilohertz. That's at least good enough.
Yeah,
For the time.
true.
Sure. But yeah, so that's the Holyam units, because we know a decent amount about them, but not like we haven't gotten our hands on one because they're so fucking old and not a lot of them got sold, so their rarity level is a little higher than the others. But then again, the ES encoder market's kind of right now, so
You
Thanks,
know,
Ari.
let's talk about the rarest encoder.
Yeah.
The EAS 9.
no.
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 The
Twister.
Cadco Twister. Cadco Twister.
No one has ever
I'm not
seen
joking. We probably know just as much as you about this. We've only learned about it not recently, but it's not a thing that is very well documented. In fact, the only archive of it is on the Wayback Machine, courtesy of Anna finding that.
I know quite a bit. The most I know is it only had 4 monitors. It had a built-in CGen with it could actually modulate it inside the unit. So, like, normally if you had an Easy Plus and you had their CGen out, you would put that into like a pre-modulator where it does IF modulation. and then you'd put that into your transmitter. This unit did the IF modulation on board, which is pretty cool, but that's about the most I know about it. We don't know what the C-Gen looks like. We don't know what it sounds like. We've never seen one except for the photos on there. And apparently it seems like there's also multiple models because like it has phone support, it has C-Gen output, it has like a whole bunch of stuff that is documented on their site, but there's no like evidence that it ever existed out of that site, which is weird because it existed from like 96 to 2004. And you'd think that one sold in that time.
Yeah, you would think that having its own inbuilt modulation would be a pretty big selling point, but quite obviously not, unless some plan happened where they had to get rid of them all. So
I'm gonna read to y'all the original sales pitch for this, right? Twister provides all of the following in one 3.5 by 19 inch rack mount unit. Microprocessor control. NWS receiver. Audio input. Printer. Manual mode. Time delay mode. IF modulator. Telephone interface. Front panel control. Automatic mode. Character generator. Relay.
These are some top of the line
switching.
features.
yes.
I never thought automatic mode and manual mode would have to be qualifying as the top features.
I never thought that having
I'm
a
not
front
done
panel
yet.
as a feature.
Not, dude, I'm
Dan,
not
you
done
already
yet.
know that printer is slow as a snail.
I'm not done yet.
It's like the
There's
Sage.
more. There's
Yeah,
more
no,
features.
worse than the
Oh,
Sage.
God.
Ready?
Go ahead.
The
Bring it
Sage is
on.
actually older
F.
than a lot of these units.
Really?
The Sage is the second oldest EAS unit, the 1822.
Oh yeah.
It's very closely
Hold
followed
on.
by the TFT.
Hey guys.
Continue.
Can I finish?
Continue.
So I'm not done with the features yet.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
There's more.
Let me guess, it has inbuilt rack mount screws?
No. No. FM receiver. Audio storage. RS-232 port.
Advanced.
Remote control. Immediate mode. And last but certainly not least, unattended operation mode.
Isn't that literally just automatic?
Yes.
Wow. It wasn't that the
Name
whole
3
point
of
of
those
the
features
EAS?
that were the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Take a
Because you know,
shot every
automatic.
time there's the same feature listed.
Man, they must have been desperate.
No, for real though.
Oh, dude! If it makes you feel,
Comes with
any better,
speaker.
oh, are you ready?
Comes with audio output.
Front
Oh.
panel
Comes
buttons.
with audio.
Guess what?
Power supply included.
You ready?
Yes.
I don't know if I ever
Unauthorized
gave.
access is prevented by password codes.
That's
Literally the
the
most
thing.
basic.
Everything they're
Let me
listing
guess,
is
let me
like
guess.
a requirement. It's like a,
Let me guess,
it's
let me
like
guess.
an
I'll do you
FCC
one better.
required
I'll
option.
do you one
guys,
better.
guys. Let me guess. It has proprietary same generation, advanced same generation techniques.
No,
Aw.
but it does. But it does simultaneously monitor 2 audio sources of any combination of 2 internal sources and 2 external sources.
Literally just another part 11 requirement.
Yeah. Wow.
It's got an internal speaker with volume control.
The
Yo.
speaker. There you go, Evan.
Yo, this you know what this sounds like? This
With
sounds
volume control, that's like top of the line
Groundbreaking.
breaking technology.
Holy shit,
Hey.
dude! It mentions the freaking telephone interface 3 times in the same damn sales pitch.
hey.
It's 3 different bullet points.
I'm surprised that
Yeah.
Gorman isn't at this
Connection.
level.
Guys, listen to
Remote
this.
control option and touch tone dialing.
No, listen. Alerts can be initiated by the user from the public switch telephone network interface, cellular phone, front panel program control buttons, or RS-232 port.
Cellular phone.
Okay, it gets better. It gets better.
Sorry,
it gets better.
Does it support my car phone?
Oh, it gets better. You ready?
Hmm.
Telephone interface and computer interface features allow immediate, full functional emergency alert capabilities to local, regional, and state emergency officials. Cellular telephones are able to be used to activate the Twister EAS. Telephone interface feature allows local, regional, and state officials to easily and quickly notify the public about new emergencies and provide timely updates on fast-changing existing emergencies.
Oh
Welcome to CellCap.
Printer automatically provides a permanent hard copy record of all alerts.
Also, just
Another
Part
required
11
feature.
requirement.
Yeah, another Part 11 required feature.
Operates over a wide range of temperatures, humidities, and power voltages in any operation mode.
Welcome to more FCC requirements. What is that part? What is that, part 14 or something?
Just so you know,
15.
you can bring the
15.
Cadco Twister to Antarctica. It'll work. Anyways,
No, Walmart.
No,
freezer.
well, you don't have any power.
Oh,
that's true.
it gets better.
Oh no.
Oh gosh.
Did you know that the Cadco Twister is Y2K compliant?
Name a desperate electronics company in the early,
Yeah.
the late 1990s.
Best Buy,
in a nutshell.
turn off before date intensifies.
Yeah,
Guys, it sounds like some of the engineers from GR and freaking TFT all went over to Cadco and made a company. It sounds like that's what's happening.
it's literally Burke.
It's Burke. Burke had sex with a TFT and an Easy.
Oh god.
Well, hey,
Like a monkey.
here's the thing. The Burks actually showed up.
That's
fair.
true. That's fair. Anyways,
I
speaking
love how we used to
of-
think that the Burke was like super duper rare, and then they like all showed up at once.
Yeah.
and then they all broke it once.
Actually, like I think Jaden's is still one of the Burks that like has no issues. Everything works on it.
You want to know what the you want to know the Burke with the most background noise? WAHC. Sorry. Continuing.
Anyways, speaking of encoders, that's kind of what this episode's about.
Was there okay, back to the Twister again. Was there literally any features that set it apart? I don't think I heard
Nope.
one.
Actually,
IF
except
modulator.
for the only thing is the IF modulator.
Yeah, the IF modulation. Oh, here's the
The
thing.
IF modulator and the fact that the unit was completely white.
And fully FCC compliant. Don't you worry.
It's more compliant than the Gorman Radlick EAS1.
Here's another
Fair.
thing. I think it was also one of the cheaper encoders. Overall.
Yeah, I can tell.
When you're listing the fact that it relays EAS alerts as a feature for an EAS encoder.
It listens for EAS burr.
Anyways,
On to the next encoder.
speaking of the EAS-1, you want to talk about the most non-compliant EAS encoder that's publicly sold of all time? Well,
It's
No,
still
let's
sold.
not. Let's not. Let's just skip it. Continue.
Isn't it, Gabe, isn't it still
I
sold?
have to explain it because here's the
Go
thing. It leads into the next one.
Just don't.
The
That's my sum.
Trilythic EAS-1.
Also don't.
The EAS-1 sucks. It has
Which
a
one?
dedicated EOM button, and that's the only thing you really need to know about it.
The TFT had an EOM button.
But this one will just straight up send EOMs whenever you want.
Yeah,
In case you
literally,
guys
if you
didn't
just
know.
go up and you click the EOM button, it just EOMs instantly, no matter if there's an alert at all. It just.
In case you guys didn't know, the EAS-1 also has built-in EAS generation.
Holy shit!
At best.
Holy shit. Planes fly in space?
That's
That is
the
when-
most insane feature I've ever
Okay,
heard of.
To touch on the EAS-1, I think it was Iowan who sent me a recording of a radio station desperately trying to relay a tornado warning because their GR was freaking out. Like I swear to gosh, there was probably
like 17 sets of tones.
of headers, yeah. And then finally on the last one, they sent the message, but it was probably,
So-
I think it was expired by the time they actually got
so,
it out. That's how bad they are.
I was actually in the call in UEP whenever this happened. We literally sat there for, I think it was nearly 30 minutes watching this station go back to back to back to back to back, literally sending headers, erroring out, sending headers, erroring out, back to back for nearly 30 minutes straight, just trying to send this one alert.
And then wasn't there like a ton of EOMs at the end too?
No. But by the time they actually got an alert out, they had missed 2 alerts, and their alert had expired for 15 minutes.
Oh my god!
Like,
Welcome
it was.
to FCC
Here's your tornado. Here's your tornado warning, but you're probably dead by now.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We noticed that this station was going off like 15 minutes to them already going off.
Oh my god!
And to teach you how sporadic this ENDEC is, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember what station it is, but like a day later, I could be wrong. I could be pulling shit out of my ass, but I think I got a perfectly correct weekly from them. So that's how sporadic it is. Like, it's nuts.
Back to the ERN versus GR thing. Yeah, it's not compliant. We're just going to call it there. We think it's non-compliant.
That is our official, non-legally backed opinion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you.
backed by
Thank
my
you for
own
this message
testing.
from our lawyers.
What lawyer?
Also,
So does
don't
it
buy a
actually
GR.
still get sold today? Like, are they?
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
still in
Yes,
production?
It's allowed with cap, right? With a cap.
Actually,
yeah.
that's- Yeah, that would make sense because the most common combo, especially up here in Florida, we have, I can't remember what station it is, but there's a station here that I think it's WXGJ or something. I don't know. It's WX something. Anyways, they have a GR cap deck hooked into their EAS1, and let me tell you, it's just the cap. This isn't a digital ENDEC thing, but I'm sure we'll touch on it someday. Don't buy anything from GR, because when you pair the GR EAS1 with the GR cap deck, you have a freaking explosion waiting to happen. It's horrible. It's bad.
Not actually, but just an explosion
Yeah.
of poor EAS.
Yes. Anyways. I think that's enough with the EAS1.
Yeah, and then there's also this weird unit called the trilithic EAS-1. Well, let's not talk about it. It's basically just an EAS-1, but with trilithics branding all over it. Now we get to talk about the big 3 of the analog encoders. That's what I like to call it, just the big 3. We are going to talk about the TFT.
Heck yeah. Also known as the most bulletproof ENDEC to ever exist.
Unless you have one, unless you have
I can
Liam's.
talk on the contrary. I can talk on the
Unless you have
contrary.
Liam's. Liam
Yeah.
started
My
sending
monitor
infinite
3
headers.
My monitor 3 is dead right now, and I have no idea how it happened. It just popped one day and was gone.
So here's one thing about the TFTs. You will get like a few units here and there that cause a whole bunch of problems. Like Marley's monitor 3 is dead, but the unit still works.
It
then you've
totally
got-
works. It's great.
Yeah, you've got Liam's, which just sends infinite headers. You have Lawson's, which no. But
It's Lawson.
other than that,
And then no. And John's at one point sent a weekly every 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but other than that, the TFT is fucking solid. Like, mine is, like, pretty damn old. My original TFT, the only reason it died was because I fucked up. And even then, that was repairable. It took one
Didn't
guy
that
and a
one-
soldering iron.
Didn't it literally light on fire and then it worked again?
No.
No.
No, that's
mean-
the 911D.
Oh yeah.
For a
that's fair.
company that primarily makes transmitters and broadcasting transmission equipment, it's a solid unit. Like, it's good.
Well, they don't anymore, but
They don't anymore. They're out of business, but that made. And
They're out of business and the dude died.
this thing,
The TFT,
this thing
man.
is so old. I mean, it literally feels bulletproof. Like, I feel it. I wouldn't, but it feels literally physically feels bulletproof anyways.
I am going to counter that, saying that there's only one unit that I can think of that is more bulletproof. That's the 1822.
Yeah, the 1810.
The 1822 is older. And
Yeah.
still is supported today under Part 11 as a compliant encoder, even though it is ancient.
Because they had some future proofing.
Yes, exactly.
One, the cap to EAS, and two, with ENDEC set D, I think you can add.
Not D.
No?
Index set D is only for the digital.
Oh, never mind.
Index set for the
ENDEC set, yeah, okay. With ENDEC set, you can program. Yeah, you can program. You can program in code. So the TFT is no longer compliant. The TFT is no longer compliant because it does not have the BLU code, which I find kind of stupid. But in the 1822, you can just add in your own codes because what I learned today was that in many old EAS plans, a lot of places would just totally pull random codes out of their ass, like school closure statements. So that was kind of part of the whole thing, the reason why they did that.
FCC steps in and says, bonjour.
Where do you add codes at?
In the program, ENDEC set.
Index set.
In ENDEC set? Oh.
Yeah. Whenever it comes, whenever it comes to eProg, you literally just can type anything in. That's why.
So that's the only feature you can't do from the front panel.
No, there's a couple other things.
That and adding new FIPS codes.
Yes.
Oh,
you can from eProg and ENDEC set, you can add new FIPS codes, you can add new event codes, and I think there's also a way to change attention detection. I don't know if that one also doesn't properly exist in the front panel.
You can also change the names of existing codes, like if you wanted to specify that CA is Amber Alert.
Still wish ENDEC set worked with TCP/IP.
Not yet.
Not yet. Could. We'll make it.
Sponsored by WACN Custom ROMs. Order yours. No, I'm joking.
I'm just kidding. Anyways.
Copyright.
WACN.
I guess that brings us to the 1822.
Yay.
So the 1822 is the 1822. Basically, it does everything every other encoder usually does, except for built-in character generation and IF shit.
And even then, it does character generation really good.
Well, it doesn't do character generation. It sends
not,
two character
not
generators.
on unit, yeah.
But yeah, it works
not yet.
extremely well. It works extremely well, and just in general, it's a very rock solid unit. You can run those things for years straight and not have to.
As a matter of fact, there are stations that continue to run theirs for years straight and have had no problems. I can say that
because all you need to do is a cap to EAS unit, and it's technically compliant.
Just not a GR cap deck.
Not
a GR cap deck because fuck the GR cap deck.
My original
WBDY.
Your totally FCC compliant Raspberry Pi.
I'm just gonna be right back. There's a dragonfly flying around my room.
No, that's wonderful.
Do that.
I'll have fun with that.
My original 1822 was, I believe, from something like 2003. So that's fun. Oh. I know Evans is older because Evans is the oldest.
Mine's one of the it's in the first batch. I think. It's near 1,000. The 1,000th one made, if not earlier. My Midland, my 120 is so old. Here, let me actually get the model number out real fast. It's the 453rd one ever made.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you think there's probably tens of thousands of those things across the U.S.
Aren't there two? I could be wrong. Aren't there two models of the 1822? One with the weird speaker grill, and one that's normal? Yeah.
So the one with the circle speaker grill that doesn't actually have a grill, that one is the older version, and then the newer version actually has the grill. Funny enough, I actually own both versions.
I actually found out that isn't exactly true. The reason why they have the two versions is the one with the grill was the one made by Sage proper. The one without the grill was the ones that were resold by Harris. And I have no idea why. Yes.
Wow.
Harris, the radio company?
Yes, that's why.
Oh, wow.
That's why. My unit is actually the one I have right now is actually pretty new. Like if I look at it, it was made in like 2006, but it was sold by Harris.
While we're on the subject of just little quirky things about the Sage, have you all seen the misspelling on the back?
No.
So the state code, the state like 2-letter identification, it's like in one it says CT, like in the other one it shows a full different state that it was manufactured. It's a misprint.
Huh.
Some of them have it. Mine has it. One of mine does.
Speaking of random versions of the 1822, I'm going to break it to anyone right now that's listening. There is no such thing as a white Sage. That was simply a Photoshop. That will never be a thing.
Yeah.
The shadows were inverted.
I'll buy you some Plasti Dip. You want to make a white Sage?
Sure, let's do it. There's one on eBay right now. You want to go get it?
However, fortunately, if you take 2 Sages and put it together, then you get a 3644. But that's for the next.
But have you ever heard of the 1922?
Well, the what?
Anna knows about that.
Yeah, that's actually a thing.
There was a kid who applied to ERN with the Sage 1922. It was a typo.
I think that kid also applied to NERP with the same 1922.
Yeah, guys, I got a Sage. It's a Sage 1922.
It's the Australian Sage.
It was made 100 years ago. That's what it's the year.
No, it was made in 2019 and it's certified 2022.
Certified as cap support, mate.
Mate. Anyways.
Some bush fires.
Anyways.
Back to the whole like Harris and Sage thing. Wasn't Sage actually running under Harris for a hot minute?
I believe so, because I remember looking in like thearchive.org and I see a lot of references of Harris Sage.
I still see them today. So I could be wrong that Sage.
I believe once Sage is not still under.
Okay.
So for a while, from what I could see, Sage was spun up. Sage was spun up as a result of the whole Part 11 getting adopted. And then once it was starting to get adopted, Harris needed to be able to accommodate for stations trying to switch away from their EBS equipment. So they spun up Sage.
Did Harris make EBS equipment themselves?
No, I think they resold TFT equipment.
Oh, okay.
Because TFT made a lot of units.
Harris really does just as always just had a little bit of everything, huh?
Yeah. And then we have, in my opinion, the best analog encoder.
In my opinion as well, and I think a lot of people's.
And that analog encoder is the Trilithic Easy series.
Yep.
One of three.
You have the Easy.
Actually, one
Plus.
of four. One of four. But it's analog.
I've not considered the Easy Cap part of that series.
True. You're
digital.
right.
The Easy Crap. I will say
Easy Crap. Easy Crap. To be fair,
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
So the Easy Plus for its time is the most interesting encoder. It is the newest one out of that entire lineup. But it is the coolest one.
Yeah. So the Easy Plus came out in 3 models. In 2002 you have the Easy Plus. In 2004 or 2005 you got the IPTV. Or the DirecTV EAS unit, as Clay Ranger 143 once said to me, and then in 2006 to 2007 they released the Easy Cast, which is, by the way, the Easy Cast has some really cool features on 809. Not gonna lie.
Fun fact: the Easy Plus used to support all features that all 3 encoders used to have. In fact, if you go and find the older versions of the Easy Plus software, you can actually see that it's supported. The toggles between the 3 units was basically a toggle in the software. You could set it as radio, IPTV, and then there was one last one. I forget what it was.
Cable.
Yeah, it's cable. So you had all the options in the software, and you could just toggle between them. And then they dropped that. They dropped that to actually split them up into different encoders with their specific softwares.
And here's one of the cool things about the easy stuff is that after a while, so the easy is notorious for its one very good feature that it had on the units that came in there by default, but you could have it optionally removed, and that was the easy character generator, the most notorious EAS character generator of all time, by far.
And then for the listeners, do you want to explain like what that character generator had that set it apart?
Black screen with emergency alert system up at the top in capital letters, or if it was an EAN, it would be national alert. A scroll.
No. What it had was the gut-wrenching ability to scare the living shit out of you. Yeah.
No, that's the feature.
That's what it had.
If you know, you know.
Now, if the first time I think I saw an easy character generator as a kid, I think I was maybe like 7 years old. I was scared shitless,
mortified.
So, and here's the other thing too. Everybody, it's all fun and games until you see your TV come up with national alert on the top.
Yeah. SpongeBob, Bean Boy, it's not the end of the world.
I can so. And after I'm going to explain the character generator, and then we can do all of our easy plus stories.
Okay.
But when I went, okay. Speak, you fucker. Okay. With the character generator, you had originator, issued an, event, and then a scroll that could be adjusted to different parts of the screen. It can either have a black background with white text, gray background with black text, and gray background with white text.
Ooh, so many features.
No, you could black with white, gray with white, black with gray. No, what's
it was gray with black.
Yeah, gray with black. There wasn't black with gray. You could
have a scroll.
Yeah, you could have scroll only too. There's my favorite feature was scroll with no background.
Scroll with no background, and it gets better because if there's a typo in the Easy Plus, if you do CG test alignment, and it says alignment in process.
So along with the easy, the easy CGen being like the one that scares you shitless, it also is kind of the one that carried the whole EAS community, if you will, for good and for bad. I mean, tell me you haven't seen some like EAS mock or whatever without an easy CGen. It's like the most notorious CGen you could ever find. And the reason being because
I did a collaboration with another YouTuber. I can't remember his name, but I think that video is unlisted now. But we did easy CGs, but we made them all in PowerPoint.
Well, the reason is because everyone knows what the hell it is. It's
the one that everyone knows. Like, I guarantee you, most people in the United States know what it is.
Yeah, and honestly, to stories, like the first time I ever saw it was when I was living in Hawaii as a kid for the tsunami warning that ended up being false. But it scared the shit out of me. That, along with all the freaking sirens, was like the most scary thing I think I've ever seen. And then imagine, okay,
wait,
it just said
the
tsunami
system.
Yeah, they did everything. If you look up 2010 tsunami warning in Hawaii, it's the scariest video you'll ever watch.
Oh, I thought it was the nuclear warning.
No, the Hawaii one.
The nuclear warning in Hawaii, they did not set off the sirins.
No,
it was
they
only
never
the
set
EAS.
off sirens. It was only
I think on like recordings of the missile alert, I think I did see an easy somewhere.
Really?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Not easy cap, but
Proper
I'm
easy.
pretty.
I wouldn't
yeah,
doubt
just
it. I
proper
mean, there's a
easy.
lot of local, like, small cable systems there. I mean, Time Warner used to run it all, but
their iPOS messages were sent with hot links.
yeah, well,
Literal hot
another
links
reason-
into their encoding software that then encoded into iPods.
yeah, I don't even know. But that's a topic for
You gotta
another
think of the
episode.
daisy chain too.
Anyways.
That's a topic for another episode. But another thing, just really quick before Gabe, another reason the Easy sold so well was because it was also kind of marketed towards cable systems. It was the all-in-one package that you could get, and cable systems loved it. So that's another reason why it was so popularly used.
Yeah,
because it was decently affordable.
Yeah, Comcast and Verizon Fios were huge customers of the Easies.
I'm pretty sure Verizon Fios actually kept using it up until kind of recent too.
Yeah, they switched over to Easy Caps.
Yeah.
So
Bad move.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, one of the cool things about the Easy Plus. Actually, let's get into the Easy Plus stories because I want to hear what y'all's Easy Plus encounters were like. I'll start off. The first time I remember the EAS was an Easy Plus on November 9th, 2011, the day of the National Emergency Action Notification Test.
That would scare me shitless.
And they did not set EAN test message on. So I looked at my so I was in 2011 I was 9, right? I was 9. I was home from school that day because I was sick. I was building
sick, right? Air quotes.
I was actually sick. I had like a fever.
Okay, Gabe. I believe you.
You had the coronavirus back before it was cool.
Infected. Okay, go ahead, Gabe.
Infected. Anyways, that's besides the point. So I was building something with Legos because that's what I did when I was a kid, and I had like Nickelodeon on in the background, right? And then I freaking looked at this. I just heard the sound go off. I'm like, huh, weird. Because this is on a Verizon Fios system where it takes a second for the everything to kick in. I look over at the screen. Boom. National alert.
Oh boy.
Primary entry point system has issued an emergency action notification. And then the headers hit. Dude, though that thing was so loud. I
think
I've always noticed that though, like especially
the audio
ENDECS
message.
especially ENDECS that run on a cable systems. Why are they always so loud when you're watching Nickelodeon?
And then
also the RWT that happened on Nickelodeon with the SpongeBob, that one's freaking hilarious. All the Nickelodeon tests have always been like the funniest and the loudest ones.
And then there was the freaking the voice.
This
message.
test of the boop.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a yeah. So basically, I had the feedback.
It's happening all over again.
Yeah. So yeah. Anybody else who actually I'm honestly the only person I might think of that has done it was Anna and Cam. I think Evan, Dawn, and Marley might be too young.
I remember the Easy.
Who was there for the EAN test?
No, just remembers having an Easy Plus in their local area.
Nope.
Getting a little
I do.
No, I remember. My grandparents,
I
they had one on their Comcast network, and I never had cable growing up really, so I would be up there, and when they would test, I would see, and so it was the Comcast Easy.
Yeah, that's
The
what I saw.
really early
it was on-
Comcast Easy, like 2012 and prior.
Yeah, I think I've seen tests with an Easy on Dish.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
The
Dish. Man, that's been a while since I've talked about Dish.
Do they even still exist? Oh yeah, they do.
So I actually never got to experience the Easy Plus because by the time I really got into EAS, the only provider in our area was Cox, and the only thing they had was just a straight up normal DAS deck.
Normal is an understatement.
No, they had a DAS deck 1. And this is whenever it legitimately had the blue and red. This was before the whole Cox modified DAS deck thing. That wasn't
even a modified DAS deck. That was just a whole lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
But it legitimately, the first thing I remember was in 2010, 2011. I remember coming home and I remember coming home and seeing we had a whole bunch of storms going over, and we were watching Mythbusters on the Discovery Channel. It was Discovery. Yeah. We're watching Mythbusters, and I hear my grandfather's fucking weather radio go off. So I run in, listen to the alert. I run out, and then I sit back down, start listening to Mythbusters. Boom! DAS deck screen.
Yeah.
Was that your first time experiencing the DAS deck 1?
Here's the thing. That was the most eerie thing because we had TVs on. My grandfather was watching something in his room. And bear in mind, all the Cox systems were linked. So we had a TV on in the living room playing Mythbusters. My parents had a TV in their room that they were watching something. I don't remember. So my grandfather, I think he was actually watching the Weather Channel. And then I was watching Mythbusters, and my parents were watching something, and they all switched at the same time. So the house went silent.
Audio sync?
Yes, the house went silent for 5 seconds, and then headers everywhere. It was perfect.
Yeah.
My first experience with the EAS was actually the easy units.
Okay, go ahead.
Which is actually pretty interesting. Then it went on to the Sage, and now I don't think there's anybody out here that actually uses a proper DAS deck. Everybody uses Cody's.
Spectrum does. So I know you have Spectrum in your area, or at least over nearby. They
Coin K2. They all use Sage units, or I don't think they use DAS decks. I think they all use Sage. Those are the two main stations I hear, Coin and K2. Everybody's heard of Coin 6. It's really common out here.
As a majority, if it's TV, it's normally a DAS deck. They may not be using the full screen override. They may be using the third-party CGen.
Yeah.
You can hear and just look.
Well, I know that they use a Sage on K2 because I know the engineer there.
Yeah.
Because funny enough, he's the one who gave me my Sage units. So my Sage units are actually, one of them is probably from the K2 system out here, actually.
My
first experience.
Better when your ENDEC is a local unit.
Yeah, I actually have no clue if it is. They both came with his amateur radio call sign in it, so I don't know where they actually came from, but I know my Easy unit actually came from ABC Miami. That's kind of cool.
My first experience with EAS wasn't easy. I don't know what model, but I was 5, so I barely remember it at all. But it was the 2010 tsunami thing. I already kind of went through it, but basically, kind of how it went was you hear sirens first, and it was the scariest thing I've ever heard in my life. It was, you have all the thunderbolts, and then you have all the, I don't remember if we had Cyrotones then, but we had something, and it was something digital, and then you had the, and then
you had
2 minutes later.
EOWS.
You had EOWS.
We had EOW, so it was and then and it was an eerie tone.
Yeah, you have 12 12s and you have 6 12s. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
which I think, I don't know,
2 minutes later. 2 minutes later, my mom went on the TV to check what was happening. We didn't have the TV on. And lo and behold, the big black screen. And it was the scariest thing I think I'd ever seen in my life. And you know what the funny thing was? It was on my mom's birthday. So, yeah, 2/27/2010. That was crazy.
Question.
That was the craziest day I've ever
I have a
had.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was that an NWS alert?
It was from the PTWC.
Okay. So you probably heard Tom read that.
No. It was live voiced.
Oh, it was live voiced. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think there's a recording of it somewhere.
I would have had Tom read it for maximum PTSD.
Dude, if you hear Tom and Easy and Sirens, you best know you better fucking run. You're dead,
your life.
bro. If you're hearing that, you're already fucking dead. You're in hell by then. You're like
up it up one step. It just says national alert on the Easy, and then you hear Tom. Could you imagine if it was Tom?
No, that's EAS mock level.
No, and then you have the massive reverb and the distortion.
So you think, okay, everybody, close your eyes. Ready? I'm gonna paint a picture for you.
Oh, great! Here we go.
You stare at a TV. Boom, Easy Plus appears, right? National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning. And then you hear, the National Weather Service in Seattle has issued a tornado warning for northwestern Snohomish County. Effective, but basically, Tom.
Yeah, the alert.
Tom reading that out.
No, I thought old Paul, Perfect Paul came on for a second while Tom processed the text.
No. It depends on the station. It depends on the station. You and most of the time you hear Perfect Paul say stand by whenever
please stand by.
Live voice.
Stand by.
What I mainly heard it from. It was live voice stuff. It was because
random tangent. Gabe used to live in Tampa. Gabe knows about all the Tampa live voice fails. I don't have the recording.
I got a couple of them on my YouTube channel.
I don't have the recording. Oh, I do. It's somewhere, but I can't play it now. But basically, the random tangent. The guy basically he issued it. He sent out the headers, and he's like halfway through, like a minute later, he's like, I totally forgot I'm on the air, and then he starts reading it out like at hyper speed, and then he ends the alert. Sorry, random live voice thing.
Yeah. So but yeah, fun fact, I used to live in Tampa. That's where I got because I used to live in Tampa, got Verizon Fios, so full easy effect.
Yeah.
Now listen, if you want maximum nostalgia and PTSD for me, weather scan getting interrupted by an NWS tornado warning with CRS Tom with an Easy Plus.
Just imagine an Easy with huge hairy on.
No, that's cursed. I don't want to imagine that. Easy Hub. Oh God, that's like some fucking you must be 18 to visit the site shit. Big Harry. Anyways,
Don, did you have any easy stories?
The only easy story I have is an easy cap, and that's about the first thing I remember of the EAS. And it was just, I was at my grandparents' house before school because my mom used to go to work at 6 a.m. and my school didn't start until like 9. So they would always take me to school, and they had Comcast. So, we'd be sitting in the living room watching Disney XD, the best Disney channel. And then just all of a sudden, weekly test, easy cap. I was like, okay. And that's all I remember.
Nice. But yeah, like I'm happy to say that I remember the 2011 test. That is something that I'll remember forever. Because yay. I do distinctly remember hearing CRS Tom at one point back when I was living down in Tampa before the 2011 test. I think it was for like some. Actually, I do know what it was from. It's from one of the hurricanes that I was in. That was fun.
Oh, I got a funny thing. So
that's what we should do for the next episode, by the way, Cam.
Yeah.
Severe weather stories.
Oh, I'm down. But so we know how we were talking about like Perfect Paul and Huge Harry and stuff. So I went to the Deck Talk Wikipedia page, and on the picture it shows Deck Talk DTC01 with a cat for scale. I shit you not.
Bruh.
Thanks. Now I know the perfect size of the Deck Talk. But yeah.
Oh, Anna just sent us all a bunch of the tsunami warning EAS from
No,
February
the one above what Anna sent. When I tell you, I shit myself. Shit myself.
I was literally about to send that whenever I saw that pop up. I was like, oh, she got it first.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's crazy. Freaking. Actually, I think so. We had a box TV when I was little, but that was like downstairs. We never really used it. The one that Anna sent here, I don't know. It was kind of reminds me of like 16:9 Sony Trinitron, but not. What we had was one of those plasma displays because we didn't. I think the biggest like actual LED TV we had was like 720p or something. Anyways, for me, I wasn't young enough. I'm not old enough to know easy on a CRT or anything. But like, it's still scary and on
it doesn't matter what
plasma
it's on.
display. It doesn't matter what it's on. Yeah.
Marley, fuck it. I'm buying a CRT and then flying you up here as soon as I get my Easy Plus.
Oh, I've seen CRTs and shit.
No.
We have the CRT Easy Plus.
You need Easy Plus on CRT.
Okay.
For maximum
Here's
effect.
Here's the thing. My grandfather.
I'll fly you up there during Christmas break while I'm down there.
Hey, Marley. So, my grandfather still to this day has a CRT in his garage. It's the TV that they have in the garage. He's got an old ass fridge with the CRT, and then he's got like some kind of like itty bitty Cox link box. I don't know what it is. It like links to the freaking Cox system. It must just be like a demodulator
or something.
No, it's direct into the cable system. It's like that big. I don't know what it is.
Weird.
But he's got
probably
that
a DTA.
Yeah, something like he's got that like duct taped to the side of the fucking thing, and it's a CRT. And literally, like one day, I got bored after I got my Easy Plus, so I brought it over there and I hooked it up to the CRT, and
yeah,
it's just the best because that little freaking the CRT is just RCA. So I just had adapters, hooked up the fucking thing, boop, freaking weekly. CRT Weekly Easy Plus.
I have a random question. So, in a lot of old like caps of the Easy that I see, also I just realized we've been talking about the Easy forever. I think it's evident that it's probably the best ENDEC. Well, the best analog ENDEC. On a lot of captures I see, I think it's mainly cable systems. Whenever it's switching from the program to the Easy, it's like always like. I mean, of course, there's some analog switching going on with
relay. Or it just takes time.
Yeah, but there's always resyncing issues. So I assume that's modulation stuff, right?
So actually, it really depends on the platform. If you're looking at something, basically, it really depends. If you can see a cable box in there, it's definitely an SCTE18 force tune.
Explain.
SCTE18 force tune.
I get it. Yeah.
It'll force tune to an MPEG stream. Or a different channel.
No, I'm talking like analog days.
You're talking about for the analog days. Basically, it's just a lot of modulators back in those days had EAS functionality built in.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually look at a lot of modulators that are on eBay, you'll find that a bunch of them have EAS input, and just a relay inside the modulator switches the video feed.
So that's probably why, because video wasn't really meant to be switched like that. So I assume it just kind of takes a second. It doesn't like it.
If you think about it, like if you think about how the actual signal works, you've got like your front porch and your back porch, and it basically scans, right?
Yeah.
So there is timing that is situated. Of course, literally you have timing that is in there.
And when you switch the relay, you fuck up the timing.
Yep. Yeah, what you literally are cutting the signal.
That is why you actually see the signal roll and scan up.
Because it has to do not azimuth, but it has to do some sort of correction.
Not only does it have to correct it,
it's a frame time correction.
It has to send the frame time correction, and when you're dealing with the CRT, it's a completely different image, so it rolls back up because it's drawing the lines.
Of course,
again.
yeah. Huh. I guess that's why maybe it was scarier on CRTs than I remember.
Here's the thing: if the cable systems actually use the internal switch on the Easy Plus, it would have been better.
Yeah,
that's why you see some cable systems that kind of just have a little small jump right before it. That's it. Normally, if you see like a little itty bitty jump right before it, they're actually using the internal Easy Plus CGen, because I believe the Easy Plus CGen actually has circuitry that does that. It isn't a hard relay. It actually has like a clock system in there, and that's why previously, whenever I was using one of my capture cards, it would not receive the video if it was going through the Easy Plus. Even if I just had raw video pass through, if I plugged it directly into the box that I was using to output video, which was a DVD player, it would work perfectly. But as soon as I plugged it into the Easy Plus, it didn't like it, because the Easy Plus does its own video stuff. That's why I don't know about you. Gabe doesn't have one. But if I actually plugged my DVD player into my Easy Plus, even if the DVD player was set to 16:9, it would come out of the Easy Plus at 4:3.
Yep.
Another thing, speaking of relays and switches and stuff, another big thing, and you don't really appreciate this unless you actually have an Easy, or you've heard one, or you work with Easies, nor do I have, but I've heard one. Easies have a notorious thing for being extremely satisfying, whether it be the boop, 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 or something like that, or the clunk. Easies have a clunk, and they're loud, and it's great.
Oh, I can trigger my. I think I have the software on here, but I can trigger my Easy's clunk.
Yeah, wait for Gabe.
Not compared to the TFT. Not compared to the TFT.
No, the TFT has a loud clunk, but the Easy has so many relays, it's great.
Okay, the Easy more or less has a clack. The TFT has a clunk, and honestly,
the TFT has a thump.
Oh, you want thump? No,
the TFT throws itself out the window.
Pretty much, yeah.
Thing.
The TFT is just a giant reverb box.
If you want thump, you go freaking 911D. That has a thump.
Yeah, it's just a giant reverb chamber.
Yeah, literally 3/4 of it is empty. So it goes clunk.
Speaking of stupid, obscure ENDECs, if you've ever not heard of the 911D, what are you doing? Well, actually, maybe I should say you're lucky, because you don't want one. And if you do, I think you're insane, because it's literally just, a 930A or something strapped to a TFT?
Yeah, it's half of a 930A duct tape onto the bottom of a normal TFT without encoding abilities.
It's a broken TFT with a radio. That's it.
Here's a fun fact about the 911D. If you pull off one of the front panels of an actual normal-ass TFT and wire it in instead, because the 911D, they literally removed the circuitry and the buttons that allow you to click the actual encoding buttons, right? But if you pull out, I literally tested this in a Discord call. I pulled out the front panel of my other TFT and put it in place of that one and clicked the weekly button. Guess what happened?
It encoded.
It
sent
a weekly.
It's a hardware fix for a software problem.
Yeah, literally all the hardware stuff is still there. If you have those buttons, it will work. They literally just blocked it out in software.
But you can't set the call sign.
Oh no, here's the thing. They literally blocked it out in software. If I decide,
so what does it do though?
If I decide at any point in time, oh no, if you click it normally, it will send a normal weekly with.
Yeah, but what about the call sign?
The call sign is just blink. That's the only different.
Okay.
No, actually, no. The call sign isn't blink because you do set a call sign with it. Remember, the box does relay.
Oh, true. Yeah, you're right.
So I think right now I have it as like a WACN2 or something.
So where does it send the local? What's the local area on it? What does it send it?
You do have to program a local area in there because it does relay. It needs to decode for your local area. So it just sends a normal weekly. They just blocked out the ability to set like originator and stuff in software.
So you haven't. So you haven't tested sending custom alerts or anything?
Well, the issue is I can't get past weekly because what they did is since it's blocked out in software, you have to program which buttons do what. And you can't do that because it assumes that those buttons don't exist. So you know how normally if you click password, you type in your password and it says select event? The 911D doesn't do that because those buttons don't exist. If you click password, type in password, it says select menu instead. So here's the thing, though. I did actually test this, and I think Dawn was in the call for this. I literally swapped the ROMs of the unit. I literally took out my 911's ROM and put it in the 911D. Works perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that in a previous episode, too.
So I'm half tempted at this point to go and just buy 2 new ROMs and just slap the normal 911 software on it and just call it a day.
So, guys, would you guys like to hear an easy click?
Yes, but we need your mic closer to it.
Yeah, you're really quiet.
Go ahead. I hear it, but the mic should be closer. Put the mic closer.
It's okay, I can bring it up.
It just clicked.
Right. Here's the thing. That was right next to the unit.
What the heck?
Yeah.
If I wasn't 100% sure that my mic would unplug with me going over there, I would totally go over there and start flipping the fucking 930? Maybe? No, it's 948. I would just start flicking its test relay because it's like it's so hilarious. Because it's the only reason that it isn't as loud as a normal TFT is because it doesn't have that reverb area. If I slapped it in the bottom of the 911D, it would clunk like hell.
It would cause an earthquake.
If you put 2 TFT, if you have 3 TFTs in the same rack, the rack just falls apart because of the clunk.
TFT MSRP.
The TFT is the multi-station relay panel.
Yeah.
It just is.
It pretty much is. It's just
the TFT is just the TFT. Honestly, okay, I'm going to say this. In my opinion, the most satisfying... So you have 2 versions of satisfying whenever it comes to the ENDEC, or 3. You've got the Sage, which is satisfying for automation. You've got... Well, also... No, actually, I'll give that to the Easy. The Easy is way more satisfying. You've got the Easy CGen, which is just satisfaction, and then you've got the TFT, because whenever the TFT goes off, if you're in the same room, it's just like it's so good. Yeah.
Well, on that note, on the next time where we're going to be doing EAS history, we are going to take a wild adventure to the digital encoders. So we're going to be...
And digital is a rabbit hole on its own.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
Let's skip over the cap deck, though.
We're skipping over the cap deck. I don't call that an encoder.
It's not an encoder. It's a translator.
It's a glorified Google Translate for EAS encoders.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, literally.
Anyways.
So on that note...
But yeah, guys, thanks for listening to the ERN podcast. If you like what you're hearing, you can listen to our other episodes, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and yeah.
If you don't subscribe, Marley will die again, and I'll have to resurrect her again.
No, I guarantee you Marley won't be in here for the next episode.
Guys, I'm sorry for party rocking. I won't do it again.
Be careful. Be careful. If you party rock again, you're not welcome back.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.